about just not having Instagram on your phone and not dealing, and you feel better.
Yes, I think that one of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
Right.
So
By design.
yeah, people are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically seem they're way better looking than they basically really are.
Right.
And they're way happier seeming than they really are. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, they're all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking, and I'm not happy. So I must suck, and that's going to make people sad. So when in fact, those people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed. They're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time. It doesn't matter who you are.
No.
I had zero internet presence, and I have intentionally not have had any social media accounts before NASA, and even for the first year and a half at being in NASA, just because I have such a visceral feeling with social media. Not because I'm not trying to blame the platform, because I think we all as humans should take accountability for our actions and how we use our tools. But narcissism is perhaps one of the biggest poisons in our society. And narcissism breeds narcissism. And a lot of times the way I've seen social media used as a platform to promote that. And when children see that self-promotion, that self-idolization, they and then want to be YouTube stars. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think people should pursue their dreams, but I think it requires some self-reflection and thoughtfulness as a society of what we value. And when you have narcissism as a valued trait, you are by definition putting yourself above others. And I think that is not sustainable for a growing and evolving society. And that's why I find service very sustainable. Because by definition, you are putting others before yourself. One of my favorite quotes is from Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's something along the lines of, everyone is capable of greatness, not fame, but greatness, because greatness is determined by service. And I think sometimes people think the definition of success is that everyone in the world knows their name. And I think they're missing the point when that is the goal they're trying to seek. And I sometimes see social media used in that, but I agree with you that when used responsibly, respectfully, tactfully, thoughtfully, it can be a platform for good.
I also think that there's a social dynamic that's also worth exploring here, which is that we live in a culture where a lot of people spend a lot of time projecting a version of themselves. And that version of themselves is mostly meant to accrue social capital to them. But by implication, it's to make other people feel envious of them as well. And that's they'll call it the Instagram phenomenon. And I just think it's important to acknowledge that we live in a point where there's this heightened psychological sensation that everybody else is doing better than you are.